Continuing on this mission to recreate every Apex Legends character as a LEGO minifigure, here's the group photo so far, and according to the wheel, in this video we're doing Ballistic. The first thing I did was choose the base colours of the plastic. I gave him dual molded legs with an earth blue top and brown boots, as well as dual molded arms with a medium bluish green top part and a light nougat bottom part. I was worried this would make the sleeves too short for the character, but I figured if I extended the white sleeve fold into the light nougat a bit that it would work out. I gave him this hairpiece, which I then flipped horizontally and scaled down a bit in Blender just to make the hairpiece smaller, obviously. For the face print I used the newish Boyo as a base, for the most part because of the beard, which I thought I could mold into Ballistic's goatee handy enough. I adjusted the eyebrows and eyes to match the reference expression before adding the glasses and skin creases as needed. I recolored the black of his eyes and eyebrows to give the illusion of being tinted under the red glasses, but beyond that his face print was relatively straightforward. The torso print was also very straightforward to a point that I have nothing to say about it. But I don't want this time lapse to be too quick because I think it's satisfying to look at, so here's a sick little jingle I made in Chrome Music Lab to fill the void for a few seconds. I haven't made this music as of recording this, but I already know it was like really good. The waist print was a similar story. I had to gauge how much of the armor plate to finish here or continue into the leg prints, and I decided to compress it a little bit to fit all the major details onto the waist print because I thought they could be lost on the curved shape of the legs or crotch print. Beyond that, no major issues. For the leg prints, it was very important to consider the point where the bottom color of the dual mold starts, because on the reference he has these shin armor pads that go right up to the top of his boots. I thankfully had a reference for the dividing line already, so making that print fit here wasn't that much of a problem. His boots and the printing on them were actually really interesting and fun to do. So fun in fact that I got sidetracked and watched Brian David Gilbert's new video, totally forgetting that I was recording the time-lapse. Oh well. After eventually finishing the print, I copy and pasted it for the other leg, horizontal flipped it, adjusted the print a little bit, and with that, the legs were sorted. Similar to the legs, I needed to consider the dual mold point for the arms too, because as I said, I plan to have that white sleeve fold mask the transition a bit. I needed to make my own dividing line reference for that, but after that point, much like the legs, it was smooth sailing. The pose is where the main challenge of this figure came into play. He has a super simple pose apart from his right arm and how it stretches across his body to adjust his other glove. You would think that this wouldn't be a problem, especially since you could unlink the arms in Mechafig, and it has the angle of rotation on a joint that should allow this, but it just doesn't work that way for me, so I needed to get creative. I rendered the figure first without rendering his right arm at all. I then added another camera directly to his side so I could render just his right arm on its own. The idea being that I could combine the two renders later in Photoshop after the fact and just make it look right. The problem was that the light source would be different and it would look weird. Like the arm would have like a shadow over it even though there's nothing casting a shadow, you know, that kind of thing. So what I did was render the body first, then rotate the HDRI 45 degrees, which in hindsight probably should have been 90 degrees, so that it illuminated the arm in the same way and it would look right when they're combined. Not exactly a complex solution, but still kind of cool how these figures still throw challenges at me to keep things interesting. After that I did the Photoshop adjustments, which basically amounted to fixing some render issues in his hair and adding a shadow under his fake right arm to make it look like it's actually attached to him. Not as difficult as I thought it'd be overall, and with that, there you go, the final figure, and here he is in the group picture. Yeah, just a fine figure. Smooth sailing overall. Glad to get another Apex one finished. Now we spin the wheel to see who's next. I think it was Newcastle, Pathfinder, and Valkyrie that were tricky. Who knows, let's just go for it. Okay, cool. Nice, I was looking forward to this one actually.